Yeah. Yeah, I think there's people watching. Got to go live here for the BoldTrail live session. Yeah. All right. See ya. All right. Bye. Hey guys, welcome to today's BoldTrail live session. What is our title? What do we have? We have simple strategies for working your database with BoldTrail. As you may or may not know, this is part of a series we're doing the next this week and next, and it'll probably continue on after that in conjunction with the launch of BoldTrail, which is sort of an evolution of KV Core. Very exciting stuff. You can check out BoldTrail.com to learn more about what's going on with that. If you're watching this and you don't have access yet, definitely go to the website, request a demo. If you're not already a user, if you're a KV Core user, then just sit tight. It's coming, okay? But what we're going to talk about today, I'm going to be working out of the BoldTrail system, but this is relevant to anybody out there, whether you use inside real estate's products and services or not. Probably, even if you're not even in real estate, you could probably follow this protocol to some extent. So guys, go ahead and comment if you can hear me. If you're watching, just let me know if you have any questions. As always, you're probably watching on the YouTube channel today or on LinkedIn or Facebook. Go ahead and like, tag, subscribe, do all that stuff. All right, so let's jump on in with our topic, and we're going to go into BoldTrail in a minute. But let's start with this simple strategies. And the way that I'm going to boil this down is to just kind of set a framework and a protocol that we can follow. And especially if you're totally new to the tech, or you're totally new to the business, or you've been in this business for 20 years and you just need a kick, you just need to kickstart things and get things moving along. I would argue that just this exercise of getting used to working in your database from day to day could have a profound impact on your business. One of the things that happens with a system like KV Core or BoldTrail is you get access to it, right? And we know from looking at the numbers that a lot of people who have access don't ever log in or don't actually leverage the tools they have. It's something that you're always saying, yeah, I need to jump in there. I need to get on that, right? When I talk to a lot of agents, but it's something that you might not be doing on a regular basis. And one of the biggest things that I've heard over the years is, yeah, there's just so much to learn in there. There's so much I got to do. And it becomes this sort of stressful thing, working your CRM or working your database, when it really doesn't have to be. So I'm going to boil this down. The protocol that I'm going to kind of follow today and kind of follow this as a way to demo the contact manager in BoldTrail, but also just to keep things simple, is a daily protocol where you try to add just one new person to your database every day. So if you miss some days, maybe you go and add 2 one day and you add none the other, but average 1 a day, right? But that's not the most important thing. The most important thing is that you get them on some kind of automated follow-up, which for me usually looks like some property alerts. Let's make this bigger, or some home value reports. So if you are in a city, a town, if you exist and you have a house or a property that you live in, there are other people around you that you know that own a home or would like to own a home someday, right? That's the coolest thing about the business. So it's not going to be hard to find somebody who might be interested in getting some property alerts or getting a home value report. And that's the simple sale that I'm going to advocate you start with making here. And what we're going to do is we're going to focus on getting somebody into our database and having them do one of these things. And then weekly, all we're going to do is we're going to use BoldTrail or KV Core, whatever CRM you have, to email a deal or a listing or some kind of random listings of the week and just get into the habit. So I'm going to show you how to do all these things right now. Hopefully we've got it set up. Can somebody just comment and let me know you can hear me? Or how about this? We'll play more of a game. How many times, if you could, and you're watching this, how many times have you logged into your CRM in the past 7 days? So just let me know. If it's every day, you can say every day. If it's once or twice, that's fine. Or you just haven't in the last 7 days. Whether it's our solutions here at Inside Real Estate or not, how many times have you logged into a real estate CRM in the last 7 days? I really appreciate your answer there. Let's hop on in and have some fun. So let's start with this. Try to add 1 contact a day. I'm going to come on into the platform. Where are we? And let's start by keeping it very, very simple here. Thank you, Diane. That's great. Every day. Keep it very simple. How do we add a contact? So I understand it's going to be basic, guys, but let's just get this documented so we all know how to do it. How do we add a contact? Well, I love the new UI. This isn't too hard. I see a big blue button up at the top right, and I'm just going to click that because it says to add a contact right here. Now, I will mention there are lots of ways to get contacts in here. You can get pretty geeky and techie with this stuff. You know, whatever lead sources you're using, or if you're using Zapier and you have third-party ways to get in. But the easiest way is to just come into the dashboard and click Add Contact. If you're in the mobile app, it's similar. You're going to see a way to add a contact in there. So let's click Add Contact right here. And let's add somebody. I have a kitten chewing my foot. Does anybody else want to see the kitten? Comment if you want to see the kitten. She is destroying me right now. Sorry for the, I know kittens are appropriate. I know this is a business setting, but who doesn't want to? She is killing my feet. Sorry, guys. All right. So let's add our contact right here. I'm trying to come up with a name for her if anybody has a suggestion, but let's pretend that we just met our kitten at happy hour or somewhere, and we're going to add her to our database. She owns a home, okay? So we're going to call her, I'll be honest, my wife hates this, but I've been calling her Dookie. Kitten face, all right? I'm just calling her Dookie, but I'm not calling her kitten face. And then her email is dookie@insiderealestate.com. I know this is super basic, guys, but we're just going to do it here because I want to do the exercises on these episodes so that we can kind of walk through all the options and fully understand what they are. So permission to contact. You are responsible to ensure you have permission to contact. So this is so we know we're not spamming. So I would not recommend, of course, just randomly adding people that you know and you know their address and or they're like friends and they don't know you're doing this, right? So we don't advocate that at all. But let's say you have talked to your aunt or your aunt's kitten, and your aunt's kitten is okay with getting updates from you. So I'm going to say, yes, I have permission to call, I have permission to text, and I have permission to email. And the idea here with these is that we are telling the system that it's okay to do these things, and we're agreeing that we're not going to spam. Now we're going to throw the address in right here. So we'll throw in the address. I'm just going to use the pre-fill here. And then we're going to select our lead type, our lead status. Now this is where we can either categorize them as a new lead, where we think they're kind of going to be active and might want to work with us here sometime soon. They could be an active lead where they're engaged and they're really, really looking for a property right now. Or they're just like a prospect maybe, which in my mind means they might someday become a lead who's busy and ready to go. So I'm going to put them in here as a prospect. Of course, you could also keep them elsewhere. I would probably, anticipating your questions around this, you also have the option to do sphere. So if it's like your aunt or a friend or something like that. Question here about this? Yes, Giselle, I just don't know the timeline, but this is all planned. Okay, so if you have access to a KV Core related or a private label version of that through your company, it's coming. Okay. So, yep, definitely. So the lead owner here, we'll just pick myself. You're going to pick yourself if you have multiple options. Now, you don't have to go nuts here and choose a smart campaign, but you can if you think one is relevant. I might actually, for the purposes of this protocol, just recommend don't worry about smart campaigns right now unless you have a good one that you've written for these purposes. And don't worry about adding a lender unless you do want this person to be connected to a lender for whatever reason. We'll do a whole other session on lenders. Thanks, Giselle. Yeah, definitely. So, and then you can add notes. So I could say, met this kitten scratching my feet. No, just kidding. But, you know, was my checkout person at Target. Struck up a conversation. So I'm using that example because I think a lot of us forget what it was like, or we don't remember what it was like in the 90s or the 80s. I started in the late 90s, and there weren't as many options for getting people automatically into your database. So I would literally have my cards on me. I think a lot of you guys will remember this, and try to work the conversation in a way where it could be about real estate. So I don't think this is a bad approach anymore. In fact, it might be better in this day and age where nobody talks to each other face to face. Might be quite the pattern interrupt, and you might really stand out if you start talking to the checkout person and just ask them if they happen to own a home. So put your notes in there, click add contact like so. And then we're going to get our nice interface here. I'm cracking myself up with the name. I hope nobody Mine's my weird example here, but there she is, Mrs. Kittenface. And I can see we've got this nice UI. It actually looks very nice to me. I'm used to staring at KV Core. I definitely can appreciate the visuals here. So hats off to the team who designed all this. But first thing we'll notice is we have our client journey up top. So we can see they're moving from sphere, prospect, new lead, and over. We have a timeline right here, which is very cool. It actually took the address and it gave me a quick valuation, which, oh, not too bad. Not too bad. This is my house in Florida. It's probably about what it's worth, even though this information is not correct. We've done some additions. And then, so what's cool about that is that sometimes the system is just going to give you some info you might not have had before. There's a predictive score. Here's the custom node I added. And great, I have my timeline. Now, if I want to, I can add a hashtag here. And maybe my hashtag, it could be anything that you make up, right? So this is flexibility, and you can use hashtags for whatever you want. But I might just say possible seller or something like that, right? Great. If I'm using the scoring right here, I don't think it liked that I used the little hashtag thing. There we go. If I'm using scoring here, I could give myself stars, you know, based on how hot. I haven't used these too much, but I know that they're a feature in the system that people like for the insights. And then I've got my summary. So we're just looking through the contact record, guys, for those of you jumping in late maybe, and just exploring what it looks like to add a new contact to the system. So we've got left column, this info. We have this stuff on the right. And then on the actions tab right here, we can add stuff, right? So I could add a task for myself, check in on Dookie. And I want to check in, you know, in like a month. We had a conversation today, or I met him at the Target, right? So I probably want to call him tomorrow just to follow up on our conversation that we had. Assign to myself, just check in for a more one-on-one, right? Convo about their goals, whatever. Just add yourself a note so you remember what it was. And then you do have the option here, guys, to do premium video. So you could record a video using the video integration right here. So that's kind of a cool thing. I know a few agents, well, more than a few, but a few friends of mine who do this for almost every new lead they get. So could be interesting, right? You got their email address at the happy hour at the Target, and you just fire it up and say, hey, it was nice to meet you last night. You know, here I'm going to include my link. Send them the video email. I'm going to include my link to my Calendly. Let's do a one-on-one Zoom. Thanks, Giselle. Yeah, I've actually got that hex code remembered. I'm enjoying it too for the darker blue. I'm waiting for my hat though. Somebody inside, if you're watching, send me a hat, blue one. All this stuff on the right, you have other actions here you can take. Right, you can try to stalk them on Facebook, Google, LinkedIn. Might be cool. I know this one's not going to pop up because I made them up, but you know, just look through the record, have your routine. You've added this one new lead for the day, and try to do all the things you can possibly do. Now, in our protocol, the two things that I'm recommending you try to do is get them on some kind of automated follow-up, right here. So the way to do that is to leverage search alerts and market reports, and if you have the campaign, that's fine. So if you have a campaign ready for this sort of lead that you have. So for search alerts, I'm just going to set them up. We'll say starter homes. And the other thing, we'll call this homes nearby. Another thing I want to mention about search alerts is that you can set homeowners up for search alerts. And I think this is something people overlook or an opportunity that's missed. If somebody owns a home, anybody who owns a home, they're also going to be interested in what houses are coming up for sale nearby. So the conversation you can have is, hey, would it be cool if I've got this great system, would it be cool if I set you up to receive an email once a week with all the properties that are getting listed near your house? And there's always a reason why. What's in it for them, right? All the properties near your house, so you can always know the value of yours. You know, use that kind of scripting. So you always know what yours is worth, something like that. And most people will nod their head and be like, yeah, sure, why not? Especially if you have some rapport or you've known them for a while, right? And you're digging through your database and your sphere for these people. Now you can set the dynamic subject line. This will basically just change the subject line every day. It'll kind of have the address of the property. Or you can say something like listing updates from Ryan, so they know what it is. whatever you want to do there. I can set my frequency. I'll just do once a week. You can see you have these other options as well for frequency. You can CC somebody if they have a spouse or a friend or somebody they might also want to get the listings. And then you'll just set the area here. Now, I forget where we are in this database. So I'm just going to type something in, Richmond, VA. And then I can just set the listings to send. Now, the question that I get a lot around this is, well, what if I don't know their criteria? If they're a homeowner, their criteria is just their neighborhood, right? So you'll do a draw on map or something like that, or you just do the zip code. If it's somebody you met like at the Target and they're saying it's okay to send them listings, but you don't know a lot about their criteria, just go broad, right? So you might just say for starter homes, all right, we'll send them everything that's 200K, whatever's relevant in your market, up till 400K. It's a shame that 400K can be a starter home these days, but it really can't it? We'll do listing types. We'll pick that. And then if we want to get them a little more granular, we have our additional options here. And then you can do set the alert. You can also send the listings right away. So it goes over now. And then the alert is set and will send. I cannot remember if this email is going to go out now or if I need to also click the email recent results. I think I need to click the email recent results. And it's just a gap in my memory on whether or not they go out right away. I haven't done this in a little while. But if you click that, then you can kind of recap your engagement that you had with them, right? So you can say, yeah, it was nice to meet you at the Target yesterday. Here's that list of properties I told you that I would send over, like so. Okay, so set up alerts. That's one main thing you can do. You can do that for pretty much anybody. Going back to the contact record. Aha, we talked about this yesterday, and this is really cool. We talked yesterday about how the contacts you recently interfaced with now appear in the search box under recently viewed contacts. I think for those of you guys who've used KV Core for a while, you're going to appreciate this feature because I just appreciated it instantly as soon as I used it and I remembered it was there. You know, it used to be you'd have to go and kind of search for that person. You'd have to go to the contacts tab, go back and look for them. I can just click here and anybody I was working with, in this case, the kitten face, and I can grab them right away, right? So here we are back in here. And the next thing I want to show you guys was, in addition to setting up listing alerts, another thing that we can do is market reports, which go out, I believe, every 28 days still. So I can click add. I can click a market report. So I'll just type the zip code if I can. And then I can choose to send a report. Oh, I can do 7, 14, 21, or 28 days. And now they'll get an updated market report for what's going on near their house. So that's a quick look at the contact record. You can do more profile details here if you have more information about them. I clicked up toward the top where it says profile details. You can review existing alerts and set new ones here. You can also attach files and have transactions and tasks attached to a contact as well. But the name of the game here, I know we've all heard this before, but your income is probably going to be proportional to the size of your database, but not just the size of your database. You can import leads all day and never do anything with them, but the size of your database and how many people in your database you're regularly following up with. And that's why, for the protocol's sake here, I'm recommending at least try to get people on property alerts or home value reports. It's kind of the easiest, quickest thing to do. And I would argue that if you consistently do this, even just one a day, not only will you generate more business, you'll probably generate a lot more business from the actual conversations face-to-face or over Facebook or wherever you do it than you will from the automation. But you'll gradually build up a nice size database of people who are regularly getting information from you. You're building top of mind status because they're seeing you in their email regularly. And that's the kind of stuff that leads to conversations that lead to closings. So there's the protocol. Before I jump into the weekly and how we set up emailing a deal or a listing or random listings, let's talk about how to find this one person a day. I posted in the Facebook group about a week ago this resource from Eric Worre. I think that's how you say his name. He's a famous network marketer. Comment if you know who Eric Worre is. I'm probably saying his name wrong, or War or whatever. But I found this online. I was looking for, I've seen these before, like a list of possible people you might know. And he calls it a jogger, I think, a memory jogger, a list builder memory jogger. And I think this is just wonderful. So if you need a way to find that one person a day to add to your database, this is a good document to use. I will drop just this quick doc. It has a link to it right here for the memory dropper list. I'm just going to drop that in the comments of our YouTube video here. So I'm going to just make this available to everybody. Click copy link, and I'm just going to post it in the YouTube comments, and I'll put it in the description on YouTube on the channel so that you can access the doc if you want to access that. But if we look at this, there's a lot to work with here. Just start with members of your own family. So, your aunts, uncles, brothers and sisters, do you have your brother or sister on regular property alerts? Well, no, I don't, right? That might be your answer because I know they're not going to sell their house. Yeah, but they talk to other people, and if they're seeing you in their inbox every day, right, with new listings that are coming up in their neighborhood, there's a good chance they might have friends who might want to move to the neighborhood, or they have a friend or a relative of theirs, like an in-law, who they would love to have move closer by, right? So by sending them alerts every week, there's a chance that those alerts get sent to somebody who they can refer to you. But if you're not doing that, they might just forget you're in the business. It happens all the time. So then we're kind of getting into why you want to have these people in there. So lists you already have, I mean, this will blow your mind. All of us probably in our cell phone, there's probably in all our cell phones, probably like 2 deals sitting right there right now. It's just funny, right? Because if you start looking through the contacts, you're like, oh yeah, I was supposed to call them back, or that's right, I met them and we were gonna follow up about some other thing not related to real estate. Maybe I'll give them a call, and then you give them a call and you start talking, and there you go, your memory's jogged. You're getting them added to your database. They're on alerts. They're getting a home value report. Maybe you're jumping in the car next weekend to show them investment properties. Anything can happen when you start working through this exercise. So not difficult. I just really like this list. I'm sure other real estate specific coaches have their own versions of this. If you search the big real estate coaches, I'm sure everybody recommends some variation of this. But sometimes, even though this is basic, we just need to be reminded, right? So I'm recommending that you use some kind of memory jogger like that resource, and try to just get one person a day in there. Another approach you can use, of course, to find people, we've all got, most of us who are here, real estate loves Facebook, right? So I'm just going to go to Facebook. Just go into Facebook, click on friends on the left side. Where are they? Where are all my friends? Here they are, all friends. And there we go. You might have a few hundred, you might have more than me, you might have less than me. And you could literally just start walking through. I don't know who this fellow is, but and I could just message him, right? He's in Serbia, so he's not super relevant to my example. But let me get one that I would have an easier time with that's real. All right, let's just, I can't do my dad because he might have dropped something dirty. He's a little, I don't want to open that messenger stream. Let me pick somebody very safe. All right, Andre's pretty. Here's my neighbor. Okay. Neighbor of mine. All right, he's not in my database. Hey, Greg. Hey, Craig. I don't even know what we're talking about. Okay, yeah, nothing weird. You guys can't even see this, but I could just say, hey, Craig, I've got this new system that sends home values out once a month. Would it be cool if I put you on that, put your property on that, so you always know the value? Now, of course, the way that you lead into that, I don't think you guys need Facebook training, but you're not going to just jump into that like that. Maybe he would, depending on the relationship. But you could, it's just an example of, you can strike up the conversation, and then you could work in like, hey, do you still own that house at 123 Main Street? Just curious. And then you can sort of, phase into that. But this, just Facebook, whatever social networks you use, could probably keep you busy for the next month, right? Can you find one person a day who gives you consent, who is sort of friendly with you and would just do it for you as a favor, and get into the, and let you put them in your CRM? So there's probably 50 people you could just ask that favor of. And of course, in the process of having that conversation, you might have a tangible real estate conversation about a need they have right now. Yeah, Joshelle, it is. Who should I add to my CRM? Well, there's that Jogger list right there. It's crazy though. It's everybody. I tell this story a lot, so I feel like I'm like always saying the same things, but I know not all you guys have been on my webinars. But I would in my career, I got this thing called SOAR EMLS. I think House Values bought them way back in like 2003, 2004. If you remember this thing, to my knowledge, it was like the first property alert solution. Like it was like rocket science. Like, whoa, this is awesome. And I subscribed to it for like 50 bucks a month, and all it did is it let me add people to it, and it would just send listings from my MLS, right? It was like early stuff. And anybody I met at like happy hour, I was still partying, right? In my early 20s, I'd be at the bar. They'd be like, yo, can I put you on my updates list? It was novel at the time, right? Can I, and they're like, no, I'm not looking to buy a house. That's all right. I'm just going to send you $1 million houses just because it's fun. You'll look at the pictures. I'm going to set you up, when I get back to my office. You couldn't even do this from your phone because you had a BlackBerry or whatever, right? I'm going to set you up. And that, I remember that database, those people who were on those automated updates, for a couple of years fed a whole team. I got it to a few thousand people who were on that database and had a team of 4 or 5 before I realized, well, for me at least, teams are not fun. Anyway, digression. So just one a day if you can. BoldTrail gives you a very nice, easy way to do this. You can do it from the app. You click Add Contact. You put people in there. You go add the alerts. It takes you 2 minutes to do. You could do it straight from your phone. And if you do that for a year, I bet that in the process of having those conversations, you'll get hot deals, but also you'll gradually start to have people who are getting your alerts who respond to those and get back to you. And they're like, yeah, I like that house around the corner. Can you tell me more about it? That's the whole name of the game. So with all this, we don't need a lot of the other crazy tech that gets talked about in the system. It's wonderful. And we're going to be doing lots of webinars about all the great things we can do with the landing page builder we talked about yesterday and all the cool like smart campaign functionality. But really, we don't need all that stuff. All we really need to do is be consistent and good about putting people in our database and making sure they're on some kind of automated plan. So that's my simple strategy protocol, the basic one. The last piece of it, for my mind, is not to rely totally just on the automation, right? So the automation is good. It'll get you some results. But if you can find a way to time block 30 minutes a week, 15 minutes a week, it might be all it takes, to just send an email from the system to everybody and let them know about your deal of the week, a featured listing, maybe some random listings. This could be a very good thing, and it will drastically enhance your conversions. I would argue do it every day. I know not everybody's in the mood to do that every day. I would also argue do it as a video if you could. But at the very basics, since we're keeping it very simple today, you can come in here to BoldTrail. You can come over to marketing. So I'm going to click on marketing. And I'm going to do a scheduled mass email. Click on that. Oh my goodness. For real. Okay. I did not know about this, guys. There is a new process, and it could be something that was there with KV Core, and I didn't know because I didn't have to go through this. I'm going to send. So you're required to let them know how. I actually really like this, guys, because this is forcing everybody to look at this and understand that you can't just buy a list of 10,000 people and start spamming them. So I'm going to send a deal of the week every week to my database. Okay. And yes, I understand the tips and tricks. And now I'll submit my request. All right. So I'm going to hop into KV Core and show you guys this example. We'll think on the fly here, if you don't mind. Because it's the same. It looks very similar. All right. I need to just bear with me. I need to get into my account. We have a different look here. It doesn't automatically log me in. I have to find my account. KV Core. Okay, there we are. Dude, I gotta put the Jeopardy music on. Sorry, guys. Actually, there is Jeopardy music. You want to hear it? There is not. Oh my goodness. This is the music while Ryan has to do something in his other monitor to get the example ready. You can dance if you want. All right, here we go. All right, let me turn that off. Okay. Oh, they turned it on for me here too. All right, guys, I'm going to show you how to do a scheduled mass email here in just a minute. I need to get into a KV Core account. I'm going to use my buddy Shane Lee here. Okay, apologies for that. All right. So let's go into the marketing tab here. We will go to marketing. We will go to all marketing. And we'll click on smart scheduled mass emails. This is where we were a minute ago. And this account's already been enabled. Now, Josh is a good example who does this regularly. And because he does it regularly, is never short of people to talk to about real estate who want to list or buy with him. And you can see behind the scenes, he's got, I think, 8,600 contacts he sent this last email to that he's built up by using the protocols I'm talking about now and paid traffic. And Josh regularly, like a machine, you missed some back here, but for the longest time was sending a weekly newsletter right here. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna click schedule email. I'm going to send an email to everybody who is in my, let's just call it sphere or new lead. You're going to pick your list. And then what this looks like is try to do this once a week. I'm going to do 3 random real estate listings in Central PA, where Josh is. Hi, here's your 3 random listings of the week. Now I'm setting something up here. Is just something cool we did yesterday with the random listings, but you could, of course, just mention one listing or say, here's my favorite deal. My deal of the week is 123 Main Street. Here's why I think it's a great buy, right? You can do stuff like that. So, yeah, I hadn't seen that, Giselle, just probably because I'm grandfathered in all the accounts I log into. But yeah, I think it's a good thing that we do that. Stop people from just coming in and willy-nilly spamming. But here's your 3 listings of the week. And the reason I'm bringing up the random listings, just a little bonus today. I hope you guys are okay with this. But yesterday, I was messing around with GPT. And I asked it to crawl a website and give me 3 random listings. So... wow, I've been hitting GPT hard. Okay, so I'll just show you what it was. I must have been on another machine. So what you can do is you can say, can you give me 3 random listings from the website foreverfloridarealestate.com. Please include a heading, quick description, and a link back to the property. Don't mention the price. And I don't know if this is just GPT-4, of course, because I'm live. There's an error accessing. This worked fine yesterday. I have a whole video about it. Let me do it again. It went and searched and gave me the listings. I promise, guys. This is what happens. There we go. See, it's doing it this time. It went and searched. There we go. Maybe I had a typo. Okay, I'm glad that worked. Yeah. Okay, so isn't that cool? So now I can do this, copy this, boom, paste it right in, and I've got interesting content to send this week. So I just went way off the reservation. We do not have to do this random listing GPT thing. I just wanted to share it with you guys because it's on my mind. You could easily just grab a listing that you think is cool and send it. And if you just follow that protocol, in addition to the automation that people are getting from you, they'll also get something interesting and fresh once a week. If you can do a video of it, great, right? It's going to enhance conversions and all that other stuff. So that's that. There's the 3 listings. Let's see. Yeah, perfect. In this case, it actually went out and looked for listings on the MLS site, which I find interesting right there. Okay, so that'll about wrap us up today. You know, who to add. You got your memory jogger, anybody you meet. If you're using other lead sources and you just want to hit the easy button and use Property Boost, which is in the marketplace, that's a good way to get some fresh people flowing in. They're not going to be as warm. You're not going to have had the conversation up front, but it's a good way to get fresh data flowing in your database right there. But definitely follow this protocol. Try to add 1 person a day, get them on property alerts or home value reports, email them something weekly. And there you go. You'll have a simple protocol, some simple strategies for working your database with BoldTrail or any other CRM. So I kind of talked fast there toward the end. If anybody has any questions, you can ask them now or just drop them in the comments as usual. Please be sure to subscribe to the YouTube channel and to recommend that the rest of your team and office subscribes to the YouTube channel. There's a notification bell. If you want to hit that, you'll be notified whenever we post new stuff. Don't forget to check out our Facebook group. It's insiderealestate.com/Facebook group. And we will be back tomorrow with something else fresh. For those of you watching now, the recording of this is instantly live as well on the YouTube channel under the Lives tab. So thanks for participation, guys. Thanks, Giselle. We will see you tomorrow.